All right. What's up, motherfuckers? We at the Keyboard Warriors, presented by RepTheWarriors.com. I'm Eddie Law. That's Fred Kirby. That's just Bacala talking all UFC 235. And we'll just lead off with BJ Penn. BJ Penn's fighting Clay Guida, allegedly. I think UFC 237. That's one in Brazil, right?
Yep.
I think so.
Yep. Rio.
Okay. That is. I mean, are we done yet with BJ? Jesse, are you done with BJ?
No, I think it's almost like he's holding out for that Hawaii pay-per-view or whatever,
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be just sitting around waiting forever for that to materialize. And it just sucks, man. I don't want to see this fight, and I don't want to see BJ Penn get thrown a beating, as Fred would say. But I also think that, his time has passed, and we're just going to keep watching him get beat up, and it just sucks. And you guys were arguing with me about it, and I don't care if you guys think I'm retarded, but I think that, like, even somebody as low class as CM Punk might be able to knock out BJ Penn at this point. I mean, it's sad to say that, the guy has just kind of fallen off, and I don't want to see him fight in the octagon no more.
Cute cocksucker. You always got to do it. You always just got to take it a little too far.
That's for me.
I don't care. You know what? And I'm the biggest BJ Penn fan. I was mad at Frankie Edgar forever.
Oh, no, you're not.
Up until, like, a couple years ago. And then I actually told him, when he was on MMA Junkie Radio, I called in and told him, I was pissed off at you for years up until you turned me into a fan of yours. But still, still pissed me off. Anyway, go ahead, Fred.
Listen, no, you're being absurd in your assessment that he could actually possibly lose to CM Punk. That is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it doesn't.
But your previous point is a bit more taken seriously, and that BJ is just washed up, to put it lightly. He's old, he's over the hill. And me and Eddie were talking before we went live. There's nothing wrong with what I want to see from BJ at this point, all fucking joking and hyperbole aside. I want to see him walking out to the cage with the likes of the Max Holloways and the what's the good looking young broad from Hawaii's name that's in Bellator?
In Bellator.
She just had that big show.
McFarlane?
Yeah, I can't pronounce that whole name, but that, like, I would like to see BJ mentoring those type of fighters. Obviously, Hawaii has some good talent. Right. BJ's just an older cat now. There's nothing wrong with getting old, man. Like, it's just, what are we doing here? I understand that BJ loves to compete and he doesn't know what he's going to do in his life. Otherwise, dedicate your life to MMA still, man. Dedicate your life to teaching the young up-and-coming Hawaii fighters, all that you have to fucking teach them. What the fuck? Or at the very least, just be in a gym, help scout talent. Like, there's got to be a way to stay involved in the game. Right. Without going out there and just competing to a subpar level when you're literally one of the fucking living goats of this sport. If BJ Penn was fucking, I don't know, and I mean this with the utmost respect, Chris Lytle or somebody, it would be like, whatever. And again, I do mean that with the utmost, I love Chris Lytle, but BJ's a different caliber character. It's weird seeing BJ do this. It's weird seeing Chuck Liddell get knocked out by Tito Ortiz. Is it not? It's weird seeing these things when we saw these guys be so. It's be like Michael Jordan coming back and being like, "Say, Jack, I'm gonna see how good LeBron and all these cats really is." Like, you're gonna get dogged. There's no sense in being there.
But I think there's a difference between getting old and still wanting to do it, and getting old and knowing and being so competitive that it's going to be embarrassing for you. And I think Michael Jordan is smart enough to be like, yeah, if I come back, I'm not going to be competitive enough, and it's going to piss me off for years and years and years. So he's not going to do that. But BJ Penn, I think, what his corner was telling him, what was it, like a couple fights ago, that he should do it Hilo style, punch that dude Hilo style. Like, that's not telling him anything. That's just telling him to fight a certain way, and he still thinks he can do that. But we all know that he can't. We've seen it happen before where, he just is that type of shot fighter where he gets popped a couple times and he freezes. He's not throwing back. He's just not competitive anymore. That's why I say that a low class guy could actually take him out, because it just doesn't seem like BJ in the octagon can be that guy. Like, a couple years ago, who would have said that his last fight, that dude would have gotten that submission on him? Ryan Hall. Hell no. That would never have happened to old BJ, right? When we can all agree on that. But we can all agree now that this guy that we're seeing right now, that's not even a tenth of the BJ that was before.
Well, you're right, but to be fair, Ryan Hall is still a very, very, very decorated black belt. So I mean, you know, it is what it is. I definitely understand your point. And BJ has taken a look. The long and short of it is, does anybody really want to see BJ Penn still fight at this point in his career?
Selfishly, I do, just because I want to be there when he fights, so I can say that I saw him fight live once. But I don't want to see him like actually fighting and taking a beating.
Yeah, it's just I think I think most people could go without seeing BJ compete at this point. I suppose the UFC is going to try to wring the rag dry as they can at this point. They're not going to let him go fight for Bellator, but it just seems pointless. What are we doing? He's fighting Clay Guida. That's cute, but like, what in the fuck is that supposed to be? Like, what is this matchup for? I mean, hopefully BJ pulls off a quick little sub, gets the win, and actually retires. But beyond that, you know, whatever. I'm fucking numb to it.
Right. No, look, it's I don't know. It's really a ridiculous thing that the BJ Penn's still fighting. I only want to see him in like jiu-jitsu tournaments and shit like that, or just coaching people. I don't want to see him for shit fighting anybody in the UFC or in MMA at all. Like if he went to Bellator, I don't want to see him fight either.
Listen, you seen fucking Ali Badaba, whatever the fuck out there at the fucking airport fucking with Kobe and shit.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see BJ doing. I want to see him managing fighters and starting shit. I want to see him. What was the fucking the Undertaker's little dude that walked with him? The pallbearer.
Yeah.
BJ's time to be pallbearer, or the dude with the fucking loud mic with the Hulk Hogan, Jimmy fucking whatever the fuck.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
that's what we need BJ to be now, man. It's time to step out of the limelight, let some other cats do their thing, and you just be there. You know what I mean? BJ would sell fights just showing up with young Hawaiian fighters. If he puts a stamp of approval on you, that's a big deal. Like, that's enough to get excited for me. I don't want to see BJ himself fucking compete no more.
Imagine BJ taking Yancy Medeiros under his wing. That'd be great, right?
Real shit. That, I swear to God, that alone would have a little more intrigue for me going into his next.
Oh yeah,
you know, just like he's training. Fuck that. That would be not that Max needs BJ, but just making that connection. Yeah, would be fucking amazing, man. If when they do finally do that big show in Hawaii, if they do it, if BJ came walking out with Max, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know it's not the, you know, he's not gonna be in his corner or no shit, but you dig what I'm saying? It would be a fucking. BJ is a cornerstone of Hawaiian MMA. There's no reason for him to not be out there cultivating talent and using his name to
imagine BJ Penn head coaching his own gym, which he does, but you know, head coach of his own gym and starts putting out like high caliber talent out of like Hilo, out of Hawaii as a whole. That's what we want to see out of BJ.
Absolutely. That's cool as fuck. That idea is really exciting to me. I don't want to see BJ himself getting submitted in the first round no more. But yeah, absolutely. Him putting his talent and energy and passion into young, able-bodied fucking people that can actually still perform these tasks, that's interesting to me.
But you know, the problem for me is that even though he's a great martial artist and a great fighter, sometimes those guys don't make the best teachers. You know,
fair enough.
And it seems like BJ has never been the type of guy to put in hard work in, you know, in a training camp unless he's pushed to by a coach.
But
you know,
well, no, but there you go. He knows what to do, though. You know what I mean? Like BJ, when BJ was at the prime in his career, he brought in those fucking the Marinovich brothers or whatever. BJ still remembers all that. He just didn't want to do it himself. But and not to say that he would be the coach. I think BJ could put together a hell of a team. You know what I mean? Like, he might not be Greg Jackson, but I think if he wanted to, he knows some Greg Jackson. He knows what to do it right. Whether he wanted to actually physically do it or not is a different question. But he's been around the highest levels of the game. I think he could put together one hell of a gym if he wanted to.
Fuck yeah, he could. Fuck yeah, he could. All right. So other than that, anything else besides YouTube before we get into UFC 235?
Yeah, we'll get to it after two. Let's get to 235. I'm fucking chomping at the bit here. If anything else pops up, we'll talk about it next.
All right, we'll crack early from. I'll just kind of go down the basically the results here. All right, off the early prelims, Macy Chiasson knocked Gina Mazzotti out in the first round. Hannah Cyphers fought with a fucking broken arm. All right, ended up with a broken arm. Still didn't want to go to the hospital until the card was over.
Actually,
what up?
I do have one question before you continue on here.
What's up?
Since you were in house, Eddie, like what was that feeling like there in the arena that night? What did you feel like? It felt like a big event, or did you kind of feel like it was an okay event, like a little deflated? How did you feel the arena?
It felt like both ways. It felt like a big event to people that got there early. Like you could tell who were the real fucking fans in there, right? And what I mean by that is I got there right before the Cypher fight started. Okay, I got in there. I was up in the upper fucking nosebleeds. And I didn't give a shit. I was in the house, right? I got up there and I sat there. There was a dude that came to the fights by him fucking self, just hanging out at the end of the row. Me and my girl were right in the middle because we figured we don't have to stand up 18,000 times for anybody, right? And just eating, drinking a little bit, hanging out. And then as the event went on, the arena always fills up. The upper levels, packed. The lower levels, not so much. So it was kind of both. It was weird. Like for everyone up top, like there was people behind me. I knew what the fuck was going on. The fight got to the ground and people were like, "Fuck yeah, go for guillotine." Someone started yelling out, bomb flu chokes and shit like that, right? Like everyone that knows some shit was up top for some reason for this event, right? But as the event got down to when we got to the main event, you could look down the lower level and there was look. This is a good thing that Bruce Buffer didn't say in the sold out T-Mobile Arena because it wasn't fucking sold out. There was a shitload of gap tooth in this motherfucker. It would, I think a lot of people looked at the John Jones Anthony Smith fight as like whatever, and they looked at Usman versus Woodley as two wrestlers. They're just gonna wrestle fuck each other, right? So it was kind of weird. And MMA Gods was there. What's up, dude? MMA Gods was there as well. He said it was empty until the main event. Decent crowd though. Yeah, crowd was all right. And there was none of that bullshit they pulled in Phoenix, thankfully, where they did the fucking wave and the stupid that still pisses me off, man. Like I won't be surprised if like we don't get one for a while. But as far as like the real fans were concerned, it was exciting. It was a big fight feeling for everybody. Like it legit started from the Diego Sanchez fight on. Like when Diego walked out, and you were hyped as fuck, right? Mickey Gall came out, you were kind of laughing at it because he walked into that stupid song, right? He walks in, he's all like, trying to be cool and shit. And Diego Sanchez comes out with a fucking war face on, walked the entire way from the locker room or from the little entrance to the arena, fucking like stone face staring right at Mickey Gall, like he was not fucking looking away. And they get him in there and everything, and obviously fucking amazing fight from Diego. The whole arena went ape shit for Diego. There was no one yelling out Mickey, none of that shit. It was all Diego. The whole fucking time was sick as fuck. When you got to the Cody Garbrandt fight, it was ape shit. When you got to Woodley Usman fight, it was quiet, but it wasn't quiet because it was boring or anything. It was quiet because we couldn't believe what the fuck we were seeing, right? So it was legit. The main event was kind of like, as soon as John Jones, and we'll talk about it in a minute, as soon as John Jones threw that one knee, everybody was kind of like, oh, God damn it, right? Oh, and the Ben Askren fight. Half the arena was like, yeah. The other half was like, what the fuck just happened? We all saw Ben Askren pop back up. But obviously, we'll talk about that again. Overall, fucking amazing, amazing night. It was a lot of fucking fun. People were actually pretty cool. Usually, I don't dread going to cards, but I'm like usually ready for bullshit because fucking fans are asswipes. What can I say? A lot of fans that go to the fight are stupid as hell. They're the ones that like the second the fight goes to the ground, stand them up. Stupid fucking pricks, right? Apparently they're all those assholes just go to fight nights. The people that spend the money to go to pay-per-views for the most part like know some shit, right? But no, man, it was a great event, man.
How was because I haven't been to the T-Mobile Arena yet. How was the view from where you were? Because you said you were pretty high up. Was it still like a good enough view? Or is it kind of a more like spend the extra money and get closer to the cage type deal?
So I could still see the cage, everything from the cage, right? And that's most of what I was watching was the cage. When you get up to the highest level, the stadium seating, so it's like the angle's better. Mm-hmm. If you're in the mid level to the lowers, you're worried about a tall person sitting in front of you. Up top, you don't worry about that because you're literally overlooking the cage, right? So you're looking from the top. It's cool. I was watching the fighting like straight. I was watching the actual fight in the cage, And then if I wanted some detail, I'd look up at the like if I went to the ground, I'd look at the Jumbotron or whatever that big old TV screen they have there. But if it was like it was just striking, I would just watch it from where I was. But those tickets were expensive as shit. I'll tell you that much. But even the ones where I was at, I was like, God damn. But regardless, dude, it was a great fucking event, man, for real. And then like we got to meet Michelle Watterson the day before, like right after the fake weigh-ins. And actually a few months back, I bought my girlfriend and my oldest the Michelle Watterson leggings, right? And then my girlfriend was wearing them. We went to go meet Michelle Watterson, who is her favorite fighter. We go, and Michelle Watterson fucking notices him immediately, and like my girl was like beyond like the moon for that one. Like she was super hyped. She's like, she noticed my leggings. I can't believe it. It was pretty great. Honestly, it was a lot of fun. Got to see him. I saw Herb Dean at the fucking airport. I didn't have the heart to tell him like, hey, bro, you fucked up. I was like, hey, Herb. You know what I mean? But
well, let's get into the rest of that. Yeah. Like if you guys want to hear the rest of Eddie's experience, go back to the morning toke. He really murks out on pretty much everything that happened to him that weekend. Some pretty interesting stories there that you got to tell.
Appreciate the plug, bro.
Yeah, I would plug Fred's podcast, but he still hasn't dropped one.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude?
I'm an addict over here waiting for my fix. So what the hell?
It's been chaos. It's been chaos, but we're working on it.
All right. So real quick, shout out to everyone in the comment section. We got MMA Gods, Johnny Bones. What's up, dude? I haven't seen you in a minute. Raider is here. Jeremiah, the Hardcore MMA Show. What's up, dude? And Raider says, I dig T-Mobile. I don't drink during the fights since I'm usually alone, and they serve lattes. MGM Grand was cool when they had the fights there too. Yeah, that was a lot of fun actually. I never drink at events, and I actually had like a couple drinks just like at the beginning.
Baller.
Baller,
aren't they like $20-$30 or something?
$20 a fucking drink was ridiculous, dude. But I figured like I'm not gonna go to too many pay-per-views. I don't go to. This is the first pay-per-view I've ever been to, so I don't spend that much money anyway. Let's just ball out a tiny bit.
You're fucking wasted before I come.
Yeah. Yeah, right. But fucking all right. Let's talk about the event itself, though. The actual the fights here. Let me pull up the card. All right. So yeah, Poliana Viana looked like total ass in my opinion. In there against Cyphers, they didn't have anything for her. Cyphers wins that by decision. Like I said, Macy Kiasen knocked out Gina Mazzani pretty quickly, and Gina actually left understandably so, left the cage in tears on the way out. I saw that from wherever we were sitting. Edmund Shavazian, my opinion, got lucky against Charles Byrd, and you can see Edmund, head coach, Ronda's old head coach, fucking marking out. He's like, "One of my guys won! Oh shit!" And fun fact: when I left on Sunday, I was in the airport, McCarran or whatever they call it in Vegas. They were calling that fucker, the Coach Edmund. They were calling him over the fucking loudspeaker, trying to get him to make it to his plane. I'm like, this motherfucker probably was like fucking coked out, had hookers and shit last night, celebrating this little win. But yeah, fair enough. Then Cody Stemmer gets a decision against over Alejandro Perez, which a lot of people in the arena didn't agree with, and from like at the moment I didn't either, but I had to rewatch the fight to make sure. Here's the first fucking massive fucking like fight of the night. Johnny Walker gets the fucking, what was it, like a 30-some second win? The fucking knee to the face of Misha Serkinov knocks him out, then hurts himself. Fred, we're seeing the fucking future at 205. This kid is, I hope they don't push him too hard, like too fast. But I think a couple more fights, man, they'll be talking about him being like a top 5 dude.
Yeah, man, this kid. I mean, look, the only problem that I have with this Johnny Walker character is he's almost a little too good right now. We don't know what the fuck is like. He's thrown like he's been in what 3? How many fights has he got in the octagon? 3 or 4?
3 or 4, something like that.
He's been fucking in there for what, like 45 seconds?
Right.
Yeah.
We have no idea what happens if he actually gets hit or even like grabbed or touched or taken down or put in any kind of a rough spot in the fight. Now, I suppose that's kind of a good thing because he's just dispatching of these motherfuckers so easily. But one has to wonder what happens when that doesn't happen, when he doesn't actually just fucking destroy somebody immediately. But that being said, not trying to be such a pessimist about the kid, he looks fucking amazing. He's super charismatic, 205 shallow, good stuff. I mean, obviously we don't want to rush him too fucking fast, but then again, I mean, what the fuck, right? He just beat what was the prick's name? Did he just beat
Turkinov.
You know, who is ranked relatively high. He was top 10 at the very least, right?
Right.
7 or 8 or something altogether.
It was he stepped in for somebody. I forgot who it was, but Johnny Walker stepped in
for OSP. But
right.
So it's got to be somewhere in that top 10 region. So I mean, you know, his next fight has got to be a relatively big fight. But what's not to fucking like, right? Charismatic, and what the fuck? He's a Brazilian named Johnny Walker.
Yeah.
Everything about this fucking character is interesting for all of me. Fucking strips, hurts his shoulder doing the worm.
Yeah.
Fucking destroys people in the first round. Huge 205er. Yeah, man. Super, super interesting prospect at 205. Nothing more to say.
Yeah, no, he fucking so he has 3 fights in the UFC. First one was a knockout about 2 minutes into the first round against Khalil Rountree, elbow knockout. Then Justin Ledet knocked him out with a spinning back fist 15 seconds in, and now Misha Turkinov 38 seconds in, the flying knee.
So there you go. 3 fights, 3 minutes,
3
dispatches. I mean, we haven't really seen him go through any fucking adversity yet, but what in the fuck is there not to be excited about?
Exactly. Jesse, with Johnny Walker, is there any fear they might shove him in there against like fucking look, I know he called out, he went to Alexander Gustafsson and shit.
Yeah, that's what they were saying.
That's kind of, to me, that's kind of a stretch. What do you think?
No, I don't think so. I mean, he's put away these guys, and Serkinov was the first guy that everybody thought was going to be able to at least test him a little bit, stretch him out, maybe, you know, over the course of 2-3 rounds and really test this kid. And he just blew right through him. So, I mean, I really don't think that he's one of those guys that we got a baby. You know, I don't want to say that, you know, you should immediately rush him to a title shot. But the problem is that we don't have too many bodies at 205 to throw at the champ. And the champ wants to be, you know, he wants to be busy this year. He wants to get his 4 fights in this year. I think he wants to try and fight for International Fight Week, which is in July, right?
Well, yeah, he's out for 4 weeks, so he's got plenty of time.
Right. But I mean, you know, if he wants to keep up that schedule, I mean, you know, Brunson or one of those guys, you can, you know, shove him in against, and then, or they were talking about giving Jones, what was it, Maheta, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah. So I mean, yeah, I think you could give Johnny Walker one more fight, maybe like a Brunson or, you know, one of those guys that's on a run. And then if he's able to do the same thing to one of those guys, hey, you know, why not?
Right. No, and
Brunson's an 85er big time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm sure we can hustle up some shitbird at 205.
Well,
it's the same purpose.
Here's what I want to see. Like, I'm curious about seeing Thiago Santos against Johnny Walker, for real. I think that'd be an explosive fucking fight. You can make that a pay-per-view co-mainer.
I don't mean to jump ahead here, but we're going to get to John Jones later in the show.
Right.
We're going to have, obviously, the discussion comes down to what's next. Is he going to stay at 205, go to heavyweight? I have very adamant views on that. A lot of people are suggesting that Thiago Santos would be his next fight at 205. Without giving away too much of my hand, I hate that idea. I actually love what you just said. If we have to do that, I would love to see Thiago Santos versus Johnny Walker in a little elimination match. Anyways, we'll get to that later. Johnny Walker, super high on the kid. What's not to like? It is what it was. Love it.
Look, he's got personality. He's fun. He's funny. He's a quick finisher. Like, he's got the whole package for a 205er. Now we haven't seen him on the ground. He is a brown belt in jiu-jitsu though, so I'm not too worried about him.
He's not too good on the ground. He tried to do a worm and almost hurt himself. Right, put himself out for a while.
That to me was the funniest moment of the night when Joe Rogan goes to the post-fight interview. He's like, Johnny, I think you just hurt yourself in celebration here. Let's watch it on the fucking Jumbotron. And the whole arena was laughing their fucking asses off. That Joe Rogan just pointed out the fact that this idiot just dislocated his fucking shoulder.
That's the type of shit that builds stars, though.
Exactly. No, but that's exactly what I'm saying.
Derek Lewis literally talked about his nuts getting hot one time, and he got like 1 million followers on Instagram. This isn't quite that, but it's kind of something like that. After one of those performances, and then a weird thing like that, that's the type of shit where magic happens.
Yeah, and Walker's English isn't that good, and he still was like, "Did you hurt yourself on that?" And Walker goes, "Yeah."
Yes.
It was fucking great, doesn't it?
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, as you were saying that, like one of the last year's big moments that we remember is Sugar Shane O'Malley when he got hurt and he was on the ground doing his interview.
Yeah.
You know, it's just those things that kind of ingrain into your head, you know, the type of person that we're looking at. So yeah, like you guys are saying, I mean, I think we got a star here, and as long as we put him in the right fights, I think we could get something good out of him.
For sure. All right, moving on to the next fight here. We I had another. Well, actually, let me fucking read the comments here because I know we have a few. Uncle Hank, what's up, dude? Raider says I'm still high off Lawler slamming Askren and beating his face in.
Well, we're gonna get to that, baby. We're gonna get to it.
Musman, what's up, dude? He says, I say put Johnny Walker against Dominic Reyes to test his silly celebrating ass. I would actually like that.
That's a great fucking fight.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably says, more appropriate, to be fair.
For sure. Especially with Thiago Santos at John Jones.
Right. Like, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why not? Raider says, yeah, I like that, Musman. I don't want to waste Thiago's time on Walker. I heard a lot of people wanting Santos versus Walker, and I definitely don't want that. I want to see it at some point. MMA God says Volkan versus Reyes is up in a week. Winner versus Johnny Walker would be good. That's right. And then Santos beats Manuel. Why would we give him a noob like Walker? Because he's exciting, and Thiago Santos is exciting. But I'm sure we'll have to talk about that at some point soon here. All right. And the feature prelim, Jeremy Stevens gets in there against Zamik Magomed Sharipov, and pretty. I mean, what did you guys think of the fight? Like to me, I was.
Whoa! Did we skip Diego and Mickey?
Oh,
yeah, he did.
Oh, my bad. My fucking list. Like, I go.
Hold on, baby boy. Hold on, baby boy. We got to talk about Diego for a hot minute and Mickey getting a beating.
Yeah. I'm fucking on when you go to Google, you put UFC 235, gives you the card. I forgot to click on the show me more. All right. Diego Sanchez gets in there against Mickey Gall, knocks him out in the second round. Oh, Diego coming out with a fucking vintage performance there, Fred. What do you think?
What a fucking performance. First off, I will say, I'm not trying to shoot Mickey Gall any bail because I could give a shit less about that kid. But it looked like he needs to stop fucking doing coke and banging whores too. He beating the gas horribly. Like, he came out for that second round and was not ready for that smoke that Diego had for him at all. Ooh. But that being said, you got to hand it to Diego, right? I mean, it's easy to make jokes about the guy fucking because he has been around forever and a day. He's a very weird, eccentric character. But all that to the side, what a fucking warrior. Like, this cute little fucking prick. Look, unlike fucking BJ Penn, which we talked about at the beginning of the show, Diego is still fucking fighting, and I'll be a son of a bitch if he's not competitive. He's fucking winning fights. Yeah. Now, is he going to win the belt? No. Yeah, but look, Mickey Gall's no joke. I mean, it looks like he fucking probably didn't train as much as he should have for this fight. Right. Possibly he took Diego way too lightly. But listen, what I love about these fight cards is at the end of the night, we learn a lot of things, right? What did we learn in this fight? I tell you what I learned. You best not take Diego lightly. Right. Even now, all you young little motherfuckers, take note. If you get the fucking goddamn fight agreement to fight Diego Sanchez, don't be fucking about with that man. Like, he might be a bit long in the tooth, but if you do not take Diego seriously and try to hurt him, he will fuck you up, which is incredible to say. I mean, this is a guy who won the very first Ultimate Fighter at middleweight.
That's so crazy.
The cute cocksucker has fought at middleweight, welterweight, lightweight, goddamn featherweight. If there's a weight to be fought out, old Diego's fought there and been relatively successful, man. I mean, you know, I'm not the biggest Diego fan in the world, but that was a really fucking cool moment to see that dude get a win over somebody relevant at this point in his fucking career. Way to fucking go, Diego.
Dude, he's got 2 wins in a row right now. Craig White and Mickey Gall. Like, I don't know about Craig White, but Mickey Gall was definitely like a guy that we're thinking about being like an up-and-comer.
He's legit. He's okay.
Yeah. 37 years old, a 29-11 record. And he's this motherfucker talking about he fed out for lightning, and you know he's from another he lives in another dimension. I'm like, hey Diego, whatever the fuck you're doing, keep it up.
You ain't lying, Jack. You telling me lying,
right?
You understand me? You tell Diego he didn't get no energy from that lightning storm. I ain't telling shit, Jack.
Right? No, I'm shit, man. But yeah, now. as far as Mickey Gall is concerned, Jesse, what we sold like a whack bill of goods, like we told this guy's gonna be great, put him with CM Punk, whoops his ass, put him against fucking Sage Northcutt, chokes him out. Now, you look at him now, he can't. I don't know. First of all, real quick before we move on with Mickey Gall, he came out after the fight and said, "Oh, I passed out during my weight cut and I didn't feel good," and all sorts of shit. Giving all these like reasons for the fact that he gassed out, right? Well, excuse me. But do you still think Mickey Gall's an up and comer, or is he a guy that just had a couple lucky matchups?
No, I think it was inexperience. I think
right.
What's his record like? I think he's got 5 fights under his belt, maybe.
It's nothing. I mean, nowhere near compared with Diego's. Like when I heard this fight was going down, I'm like, you're gonna find out what fighting is. Diego's got all the experience.
Right. And I think what we saw there was just the lack of experience. I mean, Mickey Gall leading up to the fight had said that he was going to put away Diego Sanchez in 1 round.
Right.
And you saw that he was trying to put it on Diego in that first round. I mean,
he had to.
He threw everything at Diego Sanchez. The problem is Diego Sanchez is such a savvy veteran. He knew exactly how to survive that storm. And, Diego Sanchez was like, okay, now it's my turn. And my storm is just going to last for the next 2 rounds. And let's see how long you can stay in there. And he just couldn't. I think what we're gonna see from Mickey Gall is he's gonna learn from this experience and he's gonna get better. But think about who he has in his corner, who he's training with. He's training with one of the best strikers in the world, Joe Schilling, out here in California. What's it called? I forget what the Muay Thai gym that they train at is called. But they have great strikers there. So I think it's just it was just his inexperience that got the best of him in that fight. We'll talk about, getting emotional and, tying yourself to something you say in a couple fights here. But I think he's going to learn and he's going to get better from this fight. And Diego Sanchez is not some chump that, if you lose to, you got to lay your head down,
right.
He's a veteran and he knows how to really put it on people. And he's been in there with the best. So, I mean, I don't think this is something that Mickey Gall is going to look back and be like, man, that was so disappointing. I think this is going to be one of those turning points where he's probably in a few years going to thank Diego Sanchez for this fight and this experience.
Okay, this might be the one would probably, in a sad way, sort of like the best thing that probably happened in Mickey Gall's career. So We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Mickey Gall is 5-2 in his MMA career. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, no, 6 of those fights are in the UFC. It looks like wins over Mike Jackson, CM Punk, Sage Northcutt, and George Sullivan. Losses to Randy Brown and Diego Sanchez. Yes, I mean he still has. He's still learning. He'll get there. But with dude, Diego Sanchez is a fucking war machine, dude, in a good way. I don't want to call him war machine, but
he's got 40 fights under his belt. Come on.
Yeah. No, it's fucking nuts. All right, then let me catching the comments here before I move on. All right, comments. What's up, Aaron? So I actually got to meet Aaron here in the comment section. Steve and Tony from Cage Side Press, and we actually hung out at the MGM Grand for like an hour or so, just having a couple of drinks, talking fights and shit. It was a good time, fellas. Nice to meet you guys too. Raider says Gall is trash, and Aaron says Diego's from the Cosmos. Yeah. Musman says Gall gassed and got crushed by Viejo Diego. I hate Diego, but he fought his ass for that win. 100%. MMA God says that was my favorite 235 moment. Diego Sanchez finished in 2019. Crazy. Gall's cardio got exposed. And then everybody wants some of that lightning for sure. Ah, shit, I want some too. Oh, shit. Musman's got a question for you, Jesse. Savvy veteran or too dumb and tough to lay down? Jesse?
You know what? Both.
Oh, there you go.
But I think more of a savvy veteran, just because he knew he was going to be able to weather that storm that the young kid was going to throw at him, and he knew how to survive a lot of those dangerous positions without taking too much damage. I think if you take someone like a terrible example here, but a BJ Penn or Chuck Liddell or any of those old fighters, that just don't have it anymore, they wouldn't be able to survive a storm like that. They wouldn't be able to absorb some of that damage and really deflect it and survive it. I think they would have been put out,
right?
By a young guy like this. So yeah, I still think he's got that veteran savvy, more so than just being dumb. for still being in there.
Yeah, well, Diego's a bad motherfucker no matter where how you put it. All right. Cody Stamann gets that decision win over Alejandro Perez. A lot of the arena didn't like that one. I watching it live, I thought Alejandro won that fight. We're just very, very, very quickly because it wasn't the most crazy fight. Fred, who do you think won that fight?
I thought Perez won the fight too.
Okay, yeah. So we were Jesse. Oh yeah, go ahead, Fred.
No, I mean just I didn't think it was egregious, but it was a little it was a head scratcher. I thought it was kind of obvious that he won.
Okay, Jesse, are you gonna be a traitor?
Was it a unanimous decision or a
split
decision?
It was unanimous.
I'm trying to remember. I think I was upset that it was a unanimous decision. Had it been a split, I think I would have been much more okay with it. I didn't see unanimous for either guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see how it could go either way. But yeah, I really did think that Perez did enough. But I could see how you could judge it the other way. But if it was unanimous, if I remember correctly, I think that's what I had the issue with.
All right. Yeah, dude, I thought Perez won that fight, but I thought it was clear. To me, it was clear. I don't know.
That's what I was thinking too. I it wasn't the greatest fight in the world. I don't remember everything about it, but I do remember kind of being eh.
Shit.
But
it
was what it was. We were on the bigger, better fight. But that was my opinion of it. I guess it was well, that's kind of some bullshit. But whatever. What's next?
Yeah, but even at that point, yeah, we was unanimous. Even at that point, though, fucking Perez took Stamann down. Well, I believe Stamann's a fucking wrestler, so
yeah.
What are you gonna do, man?
Yeah, I know. It was not a great decision.
Right. All right. Now we to talk about Jeremy Stephens against Zabit Magomedsharipov. I was excited as fuck for this fight because fucking Jeremy Stephens and Zabit has got a lot of hype around him. And I thought the fight delivered. I thought it was a good fight, pretty good fight. And I agreed with the decision. As much as I was rooting for Jeremy Stephens, I agree with the decision. I was. There's not much you can do from there. But what do you think of the fight there, Fred?
Yeah, I thought this was a good fight, man. I felt like I seen a lot of people that were kind of down on Zabit after this and thought that maybe his hype train took a little bit of a hit and shit. But I don't know. I didn't see the problem. I thought it was a good fight. I guess maybe I just put a little bit more stock in Jeremy Stephens than other people do. I think he's fucking a legit threat. He's a scary, fucking dangerous dude. Yeah. And again, it's what did we learn coming out of this fight? There was a lot to learn in this fight. We wanted to find out exactly how good Zabit was. For me, coming out of this fight, I learned that Zabit can avoid the big shot. There are some power punchers in that division. Now we know, Jeremy Stephens at the top of that list. He has good enough footwork to, avoid that one-shot knockout power, which is, another piece of the puzzle was Zabit. He didn't get the finish, but I thought he still looked really good. I'm still super high on him. Jeremy Stephens is a bit of another story, though. Him taking another L at this point in his career is not really great, right? I mean, he's an exciting fighter, so I don't think we have a major worry about him going to Bellator just yet. Right. I think he wants to be more than just an exciting fighter. And, if he's, contemplating a title shot, this was a major fucking setback on that road, Jack.
For sure. I mean, he's coming off the loss to Jose Aldo and then takes his, and that one was a finish. That was the body shot finish, I think.
Yeah,
and then,
it was.
And then his losses a beat by decision this last weekend. Before that, I had a 3-fight winning streak. Gilbert Melendez, Duho Choi, and Josh Emmett, which is solid. Couple more wins, you might have been able to start sniffing around a title shot of some sort.
Right.
But yeah, unfortunately, that looks pretty derailed now. I mean, it was a beat. Fuck. He's still undefeated in the UFC. His wins are Mike Santiago, Shayma Moraes, Kyle Bochniak, Brandon Davis, Jeremy Stephens. What name, Jesse, do you want to throw Zabit in there so he can start talking some shit about title shots?
It's hard because didn't he just lose to Jose Aldo, right? That was his
Zabit?
No. Oh, I thought you were talking about Jeremy Stephens.
Zabit.
Zabit, man. Hell, what? Give him Jose Aldo. Why not? I think he can progressively move him up and find where he's at. I think what we learned from this fight is that he's pretty good, but with a good enough game plan, I think you can outgame him. Jeremy Stephens really did show a lot of again that veteran savvy, able to kind of negate a lot of the stuff that Zabit does dynamically, but he just wasn't able to really stifle his game completely. Mm-hmm. And it just, he just got up ahead of him on the scorecards, and that was his ultimate, the way he lost. But I think there are ways to beat Zabit, but I think we saw that in a tough matchup against a veteran like Jeremy Stephens, even still a guy that in Jeremy Stephens that makes people look crappy. He still was not able to beat and overcome what Zabit's able to do. So I still have high hope for Zabit here in this division, and I think he could definitely make a run for the title.
Yo, why don't I listen? This is what I would like to see, or this is who I would like to see Zabit fight. Let's do Zabit versus Yair.
That'd be legit.
We were supposed to get it there for a while anyways. It felt like it was a little early then, but at this point, Zabit's got the win over Jeremy Stephens. Yair got that crazy win over Korean Zombie. I think now's a really good time to do fucking Zabit Yair.
Isn't Yair injured or something?
I don't know.
He's not dying, is he?
No,
he'll be back at some point. Zabit just fought like fucking 3 nights ago. I'm sure, gotta line up.
Yeah, but I think he was supposed to fight somebody recently and he had to pull out, right? I think that's what happened in his life.
I don't remember.
Possibly, but either way, that still works out perfectly. That means he doesn't have a fight lined up at this very moment. So I think that could be a fucking really big fight at featherweight. That's a non-title fight at featherweight.
100%.
Yeah, I think that'll get both of them, one of them back on track, towards that title. But I think Zabit, might be a little bit ahead of Yair, as seen as how he's taken a couple more fights since the Yair kind of thing fell apart.
Yeah, but I put a lot more stock in the Yair win over Korean Zombie than any of Zabit's wins.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like low-key Yair would be looking back a little bit, taking the fight with Zabit coming off a knockout win over Korean Zombie.
Yeah.
But it's still a good fight, and I think it would still be legit.
For sure. It'd be really good. All right. All right. Fucking Uncle Hank says Diego's the Chuck Norris of MMA. Yeah?
I swear he is.
He's a Marvel superhero. Usman says
you know what? We should start making those type of memes.
Chuck Norris, Diego's Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
There you go. Usman says, pump your brakes there, Uncle Hank. Chuck took his laundry to a Me Too rally and brought it back washed and folded. Diego just ate steak tartare. He took his fucking laundry to a Me Too rally and brought it back washed and folded. That's fucking creative right there. I'm too tired to be that creative right now. That's good, yeah. Like that. Yeah, well done. MMA God says, or Uncle Hank says, imagine a young Diego versus Tony Ferguson. That'd be fun. And then they'd be screaming like, they'd just be screaming at each other like positive, like reinforcement at each other the whole time. It'd be weird. MMA God says Stevens versus Cub rematch would be fun. I'd be all right with that. Frederick, Gall bit his ass. Huh? Oh, yeah, Gall bit fucking Diego Sanchez. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I did see that post. When did
that happen? Because I went back and watched the fight twice, and I couldn't even find an occasion when Miguel's face was close enough to bite him.
Who fucking knows? Diego's all over him. At some point, Diego is like sitting on fucking Mickey Gall's face. All right, who knows when the fuck that should happen? It was a scramble over and over again. But that being said, if he did it on purpose, that's a bitch move there, Mickey. What the fuck you doing? That's a bitch move.
Yeah, I mean, the weird thing about that is what exactly what was the end goal with that? Like, was you going to submit him with a bite, or was it just to get him to let go of holding you? Or like,
might have been that. Like,
what exactly did you think you was going to achieve with biting him? What the fuck? Like, it's only going to work for so long. Yeah. Eventually, you got to let the bite go, and then you're going to start getting thunderstruck again. You damn bitch.
Like Frederick just asked, he goes, "Do you hate on the guy, or is it just a natural reaction to the ship position?" I mean, you're in a fight, like in a sport. It's not a natural thing. But if you're like in a street fight, you probably would.
But nah, that's a natural inclination if you're a bitch. Like, the only time I'm gonna fucking bite you is if like you've been throwing me a vicious beating and you ain't stopping. Like at that point, I gotta bite one of your digits off. But I'm not just biting you because you're throwing me a good little choker. Got my nose bloody. Like a bite as a full-grown man is because something is terribly wrong. Like if I bite you, it's because you are fucking me up and won't stop. Like that's crazy.
Do you guys remember that Ultimate Fighter a couple years ago where the guy was getting choked and he bit the guy, right? And then like the guy that was doing the choke, he was like, "Yeah, I think I had my my arm around his jaw, and I think it was not intentional. And then they cut right away to the other guy, and the guy's like, "Yeah, I bit him."
It's like a Chappelle skit right there. Yeah, but I did that shit. Yeah, that was me. But yeah, I don't know about the whole biting thing. It's weird. I've seen it happen in like jiu-jitsu tournaments, legit. Like someone will bite somebody, and you're sitting there going like, "What the fuck?" And like you almost start to fucking brawl on the sidelines and shit.
In a jiu-jitsu tournament, it makes a little sense too, because if you can bite them, if they can just let that choke up for a fucking split second, you can move and get out of it or breathe or whatever. Yeah. But like with MMA, it's like, bro, you can like you do that for a minute, but eventually you're gonna stop biting. I'm gonna knock the fuck out of you for that. So,
which is what Robbie should have done. I'm just saying.
That's a good point.
Robbie, yeah, look, you know what? Yeah, I can't even.
All right, speak. Let's go. Let's get. Right. We got some neat things to do on this card.
Yeah. Sorry. Next fight up. Obviously Cody Garbrandt against Pedro Munoz. So it started off pretty technical, and then Pedro hurt Cody pretty early. Okay, hurt him. Like he was hurt. You can see it from where I was sitting. It was hurt. And then Cody just bites onto his mouthpiece, and they start swinging looping hooks in the middle of the fucking cage. And I'm just like waiting for someone to drop. I did not think it was gonna be Cody that was gonna drop. I thought Pedro was gonna go to sleep. Cody gets dropped. He gets slept. Pedro gets the win. Talking all this shit like that was the game plan. And then Cody, which is bullshit probably. And then Cody got to the fight, start talking about it's kill or be killed out here and shit. And Jesse, after the fight, like you could see, I don't know if you guys seen that agony, the agony and the whatever.
Agony and defeat, I think it's called.
Yeah, the agony defeat, whatever the fuck. It's that thing on UFC YouTube, right?
Yeah.
If you go there, you get to see it right now. They have a sneak peek. They have Cody's corner. Right? And they're basically screaming at him to get out of there, to not try to brawl with the guy, and then he gets knocked down. They're like, fuck, they get all upset. So Jesse, since you called it last week, we were talking about, I legit thought Cody was not gonna come out emotional because he saw how that worked out in his last two fights. He got hit, he got clipped, he just went to war at that point. It was an awesome fight, but it's not how you wanted to fight if you're Cody Garbrandt.
Right. If you're a Cody Garbrandt fan, it was definitely not what you wanted to see.
Right.
If you're just a wild guy and you want to see crazy fights, that's definitely what you wanted to see. But you know what? I think Cody, it's time for Cody to move on. I know we talked about it before, and now I think now is the time. There's so much turnover coaching wise up at Team Alpha Male, and there's no stability. And it just doesn't seem like there's anybody that can really reel him in and really control that aggression that he has. And I thought that he got off to a good start, and he started loosening up. He started dancing. He started moving. He started doing what Cody does best, and being comfortable in there. But like you said, he got cracked, and then he cracked Pedro as well, and kind of like stunned him. And it just seemed like Cody was like, all right, all I have to do is hit him one more time, and he's going to go to sleep. And he just let that emotion wash over him, and he went balls to the wall and got KO'd. But I think, like I said before, I think the blueprint is out there. You just got to get this dude pissed off, and either you bait him in, or you tag him and you piss him off, and he goes, he tries to knock your head off, and then if you're faster and can take the punches, you can knock him out. I think he just needs to change camps, man. I think he needs to find a different place to kind of get him under control, get him a little bit of zen, and get him to control that chaos that he's able to bring into the octagon. And I think we could see that old Cody, that was a champion at one point.
Listen, goddamn it. I'm gonna tell y'all something right now. All this fucking Cody hate is goddamn ridiculous. I've been seeing a whole bunch of people fucking talking all kinds of wild shit about Cody. And I ain't the biggest fucking Cody fan in the world, but look, what happened Saturday night was one of the worst fight IQ decisions I've seen in a month of Sundays. Like, maybe he still loses the fight, but deciding to just bite down and swing for the fences, kill or be killed, all this fucking nonsense is nothing but bullshit. Like, at that point, all the skill, all the time you spent hitting the fucking speed bag, bobbing your little fucking head, moving your feet, all that time spent doing that shit was for nothing. Because the moment you plant your feet and both of you are swinging like fucking drunk assholes in a fucking barroom brawl, it's all luck. At that point, the skill's completely out the window. There's no skill in trading punches. It's just luck of who lands first and proper enough to where somebody drops. Make no mistake about it. Cody Garbrandt is still the same guy that outpointed Dominic Cruz.
Yeah.
He got cracked in that fight too and did not lose his cool. As a matter of fact, he outcooled Mr. Cool, Dominic Cruz. TJ Dillashaw, I felt like it was personal. He also dropped TJ in that first fight. Came a cunt hair from stopping him. TJ got saved by the bell in that first fight. I'm not trying to make excuses for him, but I don't think that any of this is indicative of Cody being washed up or done or anything like that. I feel like, look, man, MMA is a game of inches. Cody's made a couple really bad decisions, and it's cost him harshly. I will be watching his next fight very fucking attentively, because if something like this happens again, then it's like, all right, homeboy, it is what it is. But I think that, Jesse, as much as it pains me to agree with you, I think you're right with this. I think he just needs a little bit of a different look. If somebody can just control him a little bit, he's got all the talent in the world. He's got the skill to do it. He's just making some really, really dumb decisions. And look, man, losing to TJ is what it is. Like, I don't hold that against him at all. Like, that is what it is. This Pedro Munoz loss was just a really, really horrible fucking fight decision on his behalf. Yeah.
And the YouTube comments actually speaking about that. Frederick says he's so frustrating to watch now. Cody has so much potential, but where's his fight IQ? Raider is saying Cody needs to leave that Team Alpha Male cult. That's not a bad idea, honestly. Jeremiah, I picked Munoz for the simple fact that I knew Cody was going to fight emotional just like he did. Yeah.
But he didn't. If you take a look at the beginning of that fight, he didn't.
Yeah.
It was up until he got cracked.
When he got cracked.
And then he cracked Pedro and stunned him. And he was like, he got that idea like, all I got to do is hit him one more time. This should be easy, right?
Yeah. Raider says he could be so good he should just leave Team Alpha Male now before he loses again and his value with the UFC really drops. Jeremiah makes a good point. He has all the tools. He's just dumb.
Maybe. That could be just fucking putting it in a real small nutshell, but be hitting it right on the head. Yeah. He definitely has all the tools. He could just have a really low fight IQ. But he showed really good fight IQ in the Dominic Cruz win. So, again, I think his next fight will be extremely telling on exactly what's going on with Cody. Maybe he comes out and he's extremely calculated and he learned from this shit. If he comes out and he gets in a firefight with whoever the fuck again, then I think we could all be like, all right, maybe the Dominic Cruz fight was the anomaly. You know what I mean? And maybe all this other shit is who Cody Garbrandt actually is.
Let me ask you guys this real quick. Do you think the fact that he spent, because he was the main training partner for everybody and he emulated Dominic Cruz, so he studied Dominic Cruz for several years before he got his crack at him. Do you think just him basically living Dominic Cruz for so long, he was able to be comfortable in fighting the guy, and every time he takes on all these new opponents who he hasn't spent that much time analyzing them, do you think he's just fighting at what he knows best, which is just throwing hard leather, and he's getting caught? Do you think that's why we see the big change in how he fights?
No.
Why?
No, because I don't think what the fuck? Do you think that if you just mimic a guy long enough that you can actually beat them? Like, no, I don't think just because he mimicked Dominic Cruz for so long, he actually knew any. You know what I mean? Like, he's only watching tape and trying to mimic. Like, I don't think that is it. Look, what the fuck? He got in a firefight. It was just a bad. This is what I mean. You pricks overanalyzing this shit. Like, he just made a really bad fight decision and got thunderstruck. Like, I really just don't think there's much beyond that.
3 fights in a row, though.
But no, so look at who he lost. All right, two in a row to the champ. 2 in a row to the fucking champ. The guy they're starting to call the best bantamweight ever, is what they're saying, and one of the, if not soon to be the best, except now you got beat by Henry, and now Pedro Munoz, who's an up and comer who has some real fucking talent. All right, so he doesn't look bad, but I think Rader's right. another loss, and his stock is going to take a hit.
I think the next fight is crucial. That's my point with this. I think that we should all hold our judgments on Cody, but the next fight, how that plays out, is very, very crucial for what kind of Cody I think we're going to see going forward.
Eddie, who was it that said it's frustrating to watch him at this point? Because they're so right. They hit that right on the head, because you know how talented he is, and you know if he just goes to a different camp or just get somebody that can calm him down and get him to do what he does, we could see probably the potential of Cody is really, really high, I think.
Yo, you know who I'd like to see Cody get with for real? Henry Hoof. Is he with the Black Zillion still? Is that a thing?
Yep, down in Florida.
I wouldn't mind that.
Oh, Black Zillion is no longer a thing. Henry Hoof is his own gym.
Well, wherever the fuck Henry Hoof said, I feel like Cody Garbrandt would be a good fit with him for some reason.
Yeah, he's down there with what's his name? The guy that beat Woodley, right?
Kamaru Usman, yeah.
Yeah.
So
you got it, Jack.
Frederick says if he could squash the beef with TJ, Cody could be at Bang spot. I don't think that ever happened.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
Not in Cody's best interest to squash beef with that guy anyway. If you can get another fight with TJ,
by the way, I don't know if you guys knew, but Cody reached out to who was it? The guys down here in God dang it, in
Gaslam's coach.
Yeah. Gaslam's coach.
Kings MMA.
Yeah, there you go. Huntington Beach. And they declined him to help him prepare for this fight because they trained Pedro before a few years back, and they were, honoring the fact that, they didn't want to do anything against their old guy, even though he doesn't train there anymore. So at least there's some indication that Cody's out there trying to find new coaching, and I think that
the fact that got out is kind of like, ooh, shit.
But at least he's trying, and if he goes to somewhere like Kings MMA, I think that would be a good fit for him as well.
I'm with you. Raider, oh Jesus Christ! Raider says he needs to dump the cruise ship outfits. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Oh no,
he's a dad, man. He doesn't know how to dress no more. Come on.
Yeah, no, he never knew how to dress before that. It's okay. I think he's girl dressing, but
I think he should hire Fred and I as his people that dress him.
Yeah, Brendan,
he looks fresh every once in a while. He does go a little overboard with it.
He just like worst case call Brendan Schaub, and that's gonna send him one of those little subscriptions to a stupid little.
Yeah, if he wants to look like a little gay shit boy or something, yeah, no doubt.
Well, is Cody look any different ever? So anyway, MMA God says Hard Knock 365 is Hoof's gym in Florida. So there you go. All right, moving on. Sorry. As far as Pedro Munoz goes, real quick. Pedro Munoz has 3 wins in a row. Brett Johns, Brian Caraway, and Cody Garbrandt. He's looking, I think, at I was gonna say Jimmy Rivera, but he's coming off a loss. Maybe an Aljo.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's
now, you know what?
The only fight that really makes sense.
There it is. Aljo, Pedro Munoz, Cody, Jimmy Rivera.
I'm here for that.
Yeah,
and Cody, Jimmy Rivera, both of you motherfuckers, Jack, y'all need a W real bad. I like that though. I can dig that.
Not only that, it'll force Cody to be smart, because if he gets emotional with Rivera, he's gonna knock the fuck out too.
Well, that's a really good fight for Cody because it's a very winnable and losable fight. He should be able to win that fight, but if he gets cute and he can't control his emotions, he'll get fucking thunderstruck in that one too. So it's a real good gauge to see if Cody can actually figure this shit out.
Yeah, man. All right. Man, you guys want to see Cody get laid out again, huh?
I just want to see Cody.
Hey, man. This is the UFC, Jack.
I get it.
Fucking, this ain't Bellator. At a certain point, I mean, you got to be able to fucking compete.
Yeah.
All right. No doubt. Let's talk Tisha Torres against Wiley Zhang.
Wait. So just what I did on my DVR, I skipped this fight so we can just skip it, right? Like, I got it right. You guys, were hating on the poor little Asian girl that nobody knew, but still.
I honestly was waiting for the event to start. I started, looking around at who's on the main card, and I looked up Zhang. I didn't realize she was like fucking had like 18 or 19 fights in her career. I thought she was like relatively inexperienced. No, she's a fucking bad bitch for sure. So I kind of I wish I had picked her, but I didn't. I picked Tisha. But overall, like a solid fight. You know what I mean? Nothing too crazy happened, I don't think, and kind of what you sort of kind of expect from Tisha to fall short a little bit, I think.
Fred, I just want to hear how Fred describes his gust of wind.
Yeah, this fight was about what I thought it would be. You know, risk us the win there, blowing through the octagon.
I hate to say that fight. Literally, when the graphic came up of Tisha and Zhang on the jumbotron, everybody got up to go fill beers or take a piss. I was like, oh, dude, come on. Like, I was gonna get up too, but then everyone else got up. I'm like, I'm not gonna be disrespectful. Fuck it. I just sat there and watched the fight.
Hindsight's 2020. Right. We're speaking after the fight, so it's one thing for us to have those feelings going into the fight, but afterwards, if you're still able to be like, yeah, you know, it was all right, but nothing to write home to mom about, like that's kind of what it is. Then I mean, it wasn't a bad fight, but I mean, it was definitely, you know, it was the old smoke break.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they put it right after the first fight on the main card.
To be fair to them, they were coming off of a fucking slobber knocker. They were right before Ben Askren's debut. They weren't really primed up to have a. They were the sacrificial lamb of the card, man. So it is what it is.
If you were ever gonna get up and take a break, it was that fight. Unfortunately,
yeah, for real.
Yeah, it felt like the matchmakers are like, okay, like we're gonna have an exciting fight, and then we need something before these long decision fights happen. So yeah, let's put these girls here.
There you go.
Well, that was necessarily the idea, but something like that.
This is the first event I ever been to, ever in any sporting event that I've ever been to, or any event where there was actually a line to go to the men's bathroom.
Oh, yeah. That's why I don't drink beer no more.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't drink. I'll have exactly. Everyone was drinking beer. I had Jack and Coke. I had like 2 of them.
I just drink straight liquor, homie. That way I take one piss a trip while I'm out at the fucking clubs. I don't fuck with them bars or them goddamn restrooms.
Yeah, it's all fucked up. All right. All right. Now we're on to Robbie Lawler taking out Ben Askren. Fight starts pretty much just how I thought it would. Fucking Askren coming in, trying to hug Robbie, trying to, you know, drag him down. And then Robbie dumps this motherfucker on his fucking head. Fucking look. When Askren started hugging on him, you started hearing a little bit of, oh, come on, right? When fucking Lawler picked him up, the place went insane. And when he dumped him on his fucking head, the place erupted. It was insanity. Robbie Lawler going ape shit on fucking Ben Askren. I thought Ben Askren was out. I still maintain that he was out at some point, and he got woken up by one of the other shots. And then you see Ben Askren get the bulldog choke. Now, this is where we had controversy, right? Fucking Robbie Lawler's got his arm over like this, and then he just drops it.
Wait. Everybody here, on first viewing, when you first saw it live, how many of us thought he was out before he got up?
Nope.
You're the only person in the entire universe that did not think he was out.
Fuck that. When it went to the ground, I was watching the jumbotron, and I mean, look, you can still okay. Don't get me wrong. You can still choke somebody. You could put somebody out with a fucking arm over their chin or their mouth, right? It can still be done. It's not impossible. It's happened before. If you have a really good squeeze, you can still put dudes out. It was not like Robbie was not at all showing the signs of, oh, I'm gonna go out. Usually, if you are in a choke, you're fighting the fuck out of it. He just had his arm over, like, okay, are we done yet? Where I think Robbie fucked up is that he dropped his fucking arm. If he would have just been like worked it down like that, showed that he was doing something with it, Herb wouldn't have called that fight. But the fact that his arm dropped like he was out, I didn't think he was out. I literally the whole time I was like, that wasn't in though. What the fuck just happened? When he popped up, to me, it was just, you know, confirmation that I thought I was right. It was confirmation that I was right. But like in hindsight, right? Just like Fred was saying, hindsight's 2020. I could see why Herb thought he was out. You know what I mean? No,
but that's my question.
Right.
On first viewing, even Dominic Cruz, who was there watching and who's probably the best analyst, he thought he was out. Yeah. You know, so everybody that's out there like, oh, I knew he was. No. You don't know for sure. We're not even sure. Not even like, you know, everybody in the octagon that was there is for sure what the hell happened. You know, you got Ben Askren pointing to the BJJ Scout video. You know, I think it's BJJ Scout. You know, about the whole, you know, bulldog choke and all that stuff, and saying, yeah, that's what happened. Right. And then you've got other people saying, well, no, because it wasn't in all the way, blah blah blah. And then you've got other people saying, well, you can still, you know, choke people out like Eddie just mentioned. Yeah. You know, and it's all like, it all comes down to why not let the referee, knowing that he messed up, going back and resetting the fight and restarting the fight.
Yeah, look, It's I don't know what the rules are about restarting the fight or anything, but like it's I don't know, Fred. What you think? Because we've been talking forever.
It was goddamn motherfucking bullshit. That's what I.
There you go.
It was some motherfucking bullshit. Look, it's okay for us to. Jesse said, "What did you think? What did we all think when we saw Robbie's arm drop? Fuck what we thought. We are incompetent shitbird ass fuck losers. We are not trained referees. We are not Herb Dean. We are not the best in the game. Of course, we all seen his fucking arm flop for a minute and thought he was out. But in hindsight, his arm only went limp for literally a split second, and then it was fine. By the time Herb, he put his hands up. I think fucking Ben squeezing and giving his little stupid, ugly face, like, made Herb kind of react the way he did. Look, it's a really tough job to be a ref. It's easy to sit on your fucking couch and go, "Oh, he fucking blew it." You're talking about split decision, making decisions in a moment span. What the fuck? So I understand where it's easy to make a mistake in these situations, but he made a mistake.
Right.
Period. Like, it just, look. Would Robbie have gotten out of that choke is irrelevant to me. I don't care. It doesn't matter. That's not the point. Like, when a fight gets stopped too early, it's not the point on whether it would have been fucking Ugats anyways. And I'll tell you why. Goddamn Pat Barry fucking Czech Congo.
Oh my God.
But it's true.
Yeah.
You never fucking know what is going to happen next. You just do not. That's why stopping a fight early is problematic. You can't say, "Oh, well, this was going to..." You don't fucking know that. Ben, I was scrambling your fucking brain 6 fucking seconds ago. Maybe you would have choked me out. Maybe your strength would have started to fucking loosen. Maybe you would have burnt your arms out. We don't fucking know what would have happened. What we do know is Robbie was not unconscious. You know what? I got 2 things for me that just felt like end all the controversy. First off, Robbie's word, which for me counts for a lot. Robbie's been around this sport for a month of Sundays. I think anybody who's been a fan of this sport, who follows the sport, knows that people will lie and shit, but certain people do have integrity. You can tell by Robbie's fucking attitude after this horseshit decision where his integrity lies. When Robbie says, "I wasn't out, I wasn't close to being out," God damn it, I believe him. If he was, I think Robbie just keeping a buck. Like, fuck yeah, I was in some trouble. I wasn't out, but shit wasn't looking good. He said, "Look, it hurt, but I was not close to being out. I was fine." And as soon as it stops, he pops up. Again, boys, how many fights have we watched? I know, I get it. Flash knockouts, you get choked out, you wake right back up. But when you get fucking choked out, John Jones, Lyoto Machida, fucking, Damian Maia, whoever the fuck. When we've seen plenty of guys get choked unconscious. When you get choked out, you don't pop up like that.
All right,
you lay there.
All right. Wait, but here, okay, I get what you're saying. Now let's go through what everybody and even Ben Askren is saying that happened. He was squeezing the choke, and when Herb Dean came in to check, he turned to talk to Herb Dean about what was going on, and he says that he felt that he loosened the grip. Now, wait. Now let's ask Eddie. In a blood choke, a split second of release of pressure, that will bring a person back up, and as soon as you let go, you give them 2 seconds, they're right back up. Now, here's the thing. I get it. I get what you're saying, Fred. And I'm not saying that Robbie's a liar. And anybody that has been choked out can attest to this. You don't even know you were choked out. For the most part, you're like, "Oh, well, I was still fighting it off." Like, nah, dude, you were out cold for a few seconds here, or a minute or two. In worst case scenarios, when you've been choked out for quite a while, you don't even remember. Now here's the thing. I'm not saying that's what happened, and I'm not saying that isn't what happened. I'm just saying we don't know what happened. That's what I was alluding to earlier. You and I are not in the
Eddie Bravo on this shit.
No. Fred's straight Eddie Bravo because he's over here like pointing to his Zapruder film of like, "Oh, well, back and to the left, there's several bullets, and check Congo Pat Barry. This is why we should just let these fighters, kill themselves in the octagon. Give them 10 extra minutes after they take a few beatings, after they're getting choked. Let them get choked out. Let them go completely out until they're flopping around, and they look like fishes or like Holly Holm. They're throwing air punches. I'm just saying, we don't know. We got to take everybody at their word. I say Herb Dean knew he messed up as soon as the fight ended, right? He apologized. He said, my bad. And Robbie Lawler did the most honorable thing possible. He was mad, turned around and said, you know what? You're the best in the business.
Shit happens.
Man, it happens.
Yeah. Fred, last word, because we're running out of time. Go ahead.
God damn it, Jesse. You said they don't know what happens. Yeah, they don't, but we do. We seen that he didn't get choked out. He didn't fucking fall. He woke right up.
All right. Okay, let me go through YouTube comments because that shit is funny. MMA God says that place went crazy. Raider says it was glorious. Museman, that was beautiful. Askren got whooped to sleep and then back to consciousness, pretty much. Yeah. Museman, Robbie wasn't out to me, Jesse. Ooh, there you go. He gave a thumbs up, says Fred. Raider says, I'm sorry, but it's Lawler. You let him get choked out if that's the case. Museman replies, Robbie is new to this shit. You have to know by now he's a KO dead or choke lamp fighter. Fair enough, but still, like, Herb's still there for safety. Jeremiah says, I saw it live and seen Robbie had a hold of Ben's right ankle, and I seen his hand moving. And Robbie is a respectful man. If he says he wasn't out, that's all I need to hear. Robbie doesn't seem like a liar, but it wasn't a blood choke. And that's where I kind of go against your point there, Jesse. It wasn't a blood choke. I mean, like I said, it hurts. If you get a fucking arm across your chin, that shit is painful. And you can still get put out there. But it just wasn't happening at this point. The thumb, look, the only thing I could see where Herb Dean saw it and was like, fuck, that's not the fight, was the arm drop. I think Robbie was kind of like, remember Robbie against Hendricks, the first one, where he gets taken down, and Robbie literally does like, what the fuck, dude, right? After he took him down like the last time. It was one of those like, well, shit, no, I'm just going to wait till they fucking do something about this. And I think that's what was it, and I think that was Robbie's mistake there, is dropping his arm like that, because he was not out. I don't think he was out.
Yep.
But
I just said bad decision. Okay, quickly.
Yeah.
Rematch or not?
No.
Yes, I want to see it. Oh, okay, fair enough. I want to see it because Ben Askren doesn't want it, so I want to see why he don't want that shit.
I just feel like Robbie deserves it, but at this point, I am kind of like, fuck. I feel like I thought that Ben was just going to wet blanket him, and I feel like whatever happened in the beginning of that first fight won't happen in the second fight, and what we all were afraid was going to happen will happen. So fuck it. Like Robbie almost can't come out of it better in this way, so like let's just go our separate ways and say fuck it.
His stock did not take His stock did not take a hit. He's good.
Right.
No, it went higher, I think, because of the way he handled it.
And to be fair, so did ugly ass Ben Askren's. Yeah. I mean, that cute cocksucker took a beating and at the very least, did get back to a very advantageous position. Yeah. So
and on top of it, this is a Ben Askren thing that happened to Ben Askren.
In a weird way.
They keep it controversial.
Yeah.
Hey, Fred, did you get a kick out of him after with his face all busted up and having that controversial finish? First words out of his mouth. Is that the best you got, Dana? I started laughing with that.
Just some fucking stones on him. I'll give him that. Listen, he's good for the welterweight division. I do enjoy Ben Askren for better or for worse, for sure.
Look, he's the way Ben Askren talks, for as much as I can't stand it sometimes, I wish Colby comes and talk like that. But let's actually get into that real quick. We're done with this.
Yeah.
All right. Co-main event. Tyron Woodley defending against Kamaru Usman. And Usman put on a clinic, and Tyron Woodley looked like he couldn't pull the trigger. From start to finish, it was Usman. It was all Usman. Like, whenever you ever seen Tyron Woodley get taken down and taken on like that, fucking legs up in the air, fucking head to the ground, that shit was a clinic. Meanwhile, Tyron Woodley to me looked like a guy that was not pulling the trigger when he should have, right? He wanted to counterpunch. He didn't want to be first. That was weird to me because normally he's really good counterpuncher, right? Normally he's like split, boom, let's do it. And he just wasn't pulling the trigger. I thought it was fucking weird. And then walking back towards the cage again, he's had this habit now where he's like always walking backwards. Weird fight as far as Tyron Woodley goes. Masterclass as far as Usman goes. All respect after the fight by both guys and their families. It honestly was, to me, refreshing to see. But Jesse, take your point real quick here. What did you think of the fight? Because I literally, like, in the arena, it wasn't super loud during that fight. I mean, at moments it was, especially when he had Woodley wobbled on the feet. And I think it was the end of the fourth round, I think. But he had, Woodley fucked up on the feet. We thought the fight was gonna get stopped, and it didn't. I think Usman went for a takedown instead. And then but overall, it was kind of like what the fuck are we watching right now? Like, what is going on? Never seen Woodley get dominated like that. What'd you think of the fight, Jesse?
I was so happy because I get to gloat that I called that
because
fight.
You picked Usman. I know. Yeah.
But honestly, it sucks because it just seemed like from the beginning Woodley was kind of like tentative, and then he got cracked with an elbow and got slammed, and then from there on, like Woodley just got stuck. Like he just and I think Ben Askren had the best assessment. He said that what he saw was Tyron Woodley got 3 rounds down, and then after that he was like, I need to knock this dude out, and he was looking for the perfect shot after that, and it never came because, like you said, Usman just put on a wonderful performance on how to negate that power and just how to keep the pressure on Tyron Woodley. Plus the body work that Usman did, like those, I don't know, like 40, 50 shots. Yeah, like that was just beautiful. In accumulating all that damage to pay off in the end. To take away all the weapons that Tyron Woodley had. It was just a beautiful performance. Unfortunate for Woodley not showing up as he should have.
Look, man, that's why you don't walk out to your own music, especially if it sucks. So, seriously, as soon as it came out to beat your ass, I'm like, motherfucker, no.
I knew that was coming though.
No, yeah, you knew he was gonna do it. But yeah, the body shots, the way I didn't like was the constant standing him up over and over again. I get it, but still, it was weird. Fred, what do you think?
Pressure.
Yep.
Look, Tyron has lost 3 fights in the last 100 years, right? He's lost to Nate Marquardt, Roy McDonald, and now Kamaru Usman. I mean, maybe he's got more losses on his record, but they go way back in his career. Right. Those are the 3 notable ones as of any kind of recent time. And I feel like in all those losses, pressure was his worst enemy. Like, if you're able to back Tyron up consecutively throughout the fight, he does not, he's a good counter striker, but just generally speaking, he don't do well if you keep his back on the cage. The thing in this Kamaru fight, Kamaru just didn't stop coming. Yeah. Now, I guess maybe if Tyron would have let his hands go and thunderstruck him one good time, it could have changed the whole complexion of his fight. But the fact that he didn't, and Kamaru wasn't respecting, once Kamaru wasn't respecting his striking at all, and he was just walking him down, you could kind of see what time it was. At least I was watching the fight. Oh shit! By about the middle of the second, third round, I'm like, I'll be like, unless Tyron gets lucky and lands a big punch, he's fucked. I don't know. Tyron has very much that kind of Anthony Pettis, BJ Penn type of feel for me, at least, a bit of a front runner. When things are going his way, he's very much in there. But when things start not going right, you can just see him kind of mentally folding quickly. And it felt like, once at the third, fourth round, you could tell, I mean, I guess I'm saying the same thing that Askren and Jesse were saying, that he was just kind of looking for the knockout, but you could tell that he wasn't in the really enforcing a game plan no more. He was kind of just, he got, his will had been sapped. You know what I mean? He wasn't in the fight no more.
Real quick,
what's up?
What do you think about the way that Tyron Woodley's corner was handling it? I mean, what's his name? Was it Dean Thomas? Dean Thomas was just trying to motivate him, trying to get him to do something, trying to get him to wake up, and he just couldn't get it to happen. How do you feel like his corner did to try and even, what could they have done different, do you think, you two, Fred, to light up Woodley and get some more action out of him?
The second part of your question is the better one, because I thought they did. I thought he was doing a good job. He was saying the right things. This is it. You're the champ. Let's go. Let your hands go. It's time. Act because that's what Tyron needed to do. And look, man, even it's easy for all of us to say, go out there and let your hands go, because it is what needs to happen. But, we're not the one out there. Right. But I don't know. I don't know what he could have done. That's a good question. I wonder, Askren was trying to get out there to be in the corner. They said they wouldn't let him. Yeah. I don't know if Tyron and Askren are really as close as they kind of let on that they are. Maybe something like that would have, I don't know, man. But that's a good question. I wonder if there was something or somebody that could have motivated Tyron to just let his hands go, or if he was just having one of those weird nights and no matter what, he was just going to come out there and be weird. Maybe he felt like, I don't know. He would probably never admit it like in public, but maybe he has a real serious fear of getting knocked out again and the embarrassment that would come with it. And maybe he tasted a little Usman's power early in the fight with that elbow. He even mentioned it that like he had got hit with an elbow in the Nate Marquardt fight, and that ended very badly for him. He said that when he got hit with that elbow, he was like, hell nah, I don't really want no more of that type of shit. No, he even said that to his credit. So, maybe that was it, man. Maybe when he got caught that elbow, it was like, whoa, I need to just not get knocked out. And if I get close enough and I start letting my hands go, what if I miss and he fucking lands one of those elbows again and fucking, embarrasses me? That could be a real thing, man. And quite frankly, it kind of seems like it was a little bit. He definitely was just, I don't want to call the man scared or nervous, but he just wasn't letting his hands go for some reason.
So when I watch a walkout, I pay attention to the fighter. And like when you see Johnny Walker come out, he's all dancing and she's loose. You could tell he's loose. Kamaru Usman came out, you could tell he was like determined and super focused. When Tyron Woodley came out, he looked distracted, if that makes sense, right? Like normally he comes out, big old fucking over-the-ear headphones, those Beats fucking headphones type of deal, right? And he's normally he's like stone faced, he's like ready to go, super focused. In this walkout, to me, he looked a little like nervous and unfocused, right? Almost like he had you guys ever hear it? I know Jesse hates to do, but Brandon Shaw talk about his fight against Travis Brown.
Oh God!
And Brandon said that I was asking my corner for coffee, saying we had coffee, and obviously no coffee. He was like, all right, well I'll feel it once I feel the crowd. Didn't feel it when he was out there in the crowd. Okay, I'll feel it when I hear his music come out. He's like, all I thought was, not the best song, but he wasn't pumped up. And to me, it almost looked like Tyron Woodley had that kind of feel to him. He was kind of like, I'm here, but whatever, right?
Do you guys, sorry to interrupt you, Eddie, but do you guys think that the fact that he had a record release party the next night planned and he's having his record drop and all these other things that are just kind of taking him away from his focus on fighting, do you think all of these outside, distractions are just starting to kind of do him in?
It's possible because you're not putting time into your craft, right? But I don't know. But
yeah, I mean, look, Tyron has had this problem in fights before. There's not letting his hands go. I don't know if it's that, but it sure as fuck isn't good, is it? I mean, bruh, are you a rapper or the best fighter on planet Earth? I mean, we're not talking about winning a Golden Gloves tournament here. We're talking about the baddest motherfuckers walking this planet wanting to fight you 3 times a year to prove they're better. I mean, you can't be a rapper and do that. This ain't fucking, you can't act into a movie on the side and drop a mixtape. This ain't that, man. Like, you can do it, but not as the champion, not on this level. I mean, every time you're in the studio, Usman's doing fucking push-ups in the sand or whatever the fuck.
Look, the thing with fuck. No, I don't know how much time he's putting into the rap thing, man, because the album is not good. It's not like anyone put any time into it. Have you heard this shit?
He probably put a lot of time into it, though. You know what I mean? It's not easy being a fucking rapper.
100%,
you know what I mean?
100%,
like, bro, 100%. You're a very good fighter. So, like, just
the fuck? There's one track on that whole album that I thought was decent, and that was it. And I mean, decent, like not even good. And
it makes sense, though. I get it to a degree. Like, you're famous now. Who doesn't want to be a rapper? But it's like, we all got to know our role in life. Dude, you're a really good color analyst, Woodley. You speak really well. You're a hell of a fighter. You ain't no goddamn rapper, homeboy. You need to fucking, all right, cool enough. You did it. You made a record. Hang that shit up. Focus on your fucking fight career and your analyst career after that. Maybe a podcast or something, but you ain't no fucking rapper, buddy.
But the other, factor for me is also his age. What is he, 37? I think he's at right now.
37.
I mean, this might have been his last run as being a champion and getting to a title shot. I'm not saying he's washed up by any means necessary. I'm just saying that, with all these other things that he's got his hands in, the rap, the TMZ show, producing music, doing concerts, all that stuff. That's just almost like he's setting himself up to exit MMA. and it just seems like he could have at least given himself this fight and this camp to like really focus himself in and really come in prepared and really come in motivated, because everybody says the same thing. That just didn't look like Woodley, in there, and then he got slammed around, got beat up, and it just seemed like he just shut off and was like, well, let's hope this ends soon, or I don't get KO'd or something.
Right. No, but I don't know. It's a sad ass thing to see with the way he got dominated. Real quick, Raider says Askren can take his Birkenstocks and go home. Jesus Christ, he's on fire today. Uncle Hank says Woodley was low on propane. Musman, Woodley has been dominated worse than this only by Marquardt and Lesson. Don't ever walk out to your shitty songs.
Or Eminem, by the way. Eminem, the other bad music to come out too.
Well, Tito fucking knows all about that. Uncle Hank says Woodley and his album dropped on the same day.
That was
damn. Dean Thomas was like, "What the fuck?" Says Raider. Music had to go. All right, appreciate it, man. Have a good night, man. Jeremiah says Woodley just needs to engage more. I think this loss will be good for him. He's become a bit of a diva here lately. Yeah. Probably
That's a good point. Maybe it will make you hungry because that's all he really needs.
All right. Real quick before we move on. How do you think Dana White will allow him to ever sniff another title shot?
Hell no.
I mean, if he wins enough, yeah. Look, real talk, people get caught up on Dana White's feuds with people. Dana White likes money. If Tyron comes out and starts fighting any and everybody and starts knocking motherfuckers out in the first round, he'll get a title shot. Eventually, he might have to work a little harder for it, but he'll get it. You just gotta, Kobe would have got his goddamn title shot. Tony was going to get a fucking title shot. He tripped over Cord and blew out his ACL. Like, motherfuckers be blaming Dana White in the UFC for some shit sometimes that ain't really their fault. Like, these motherfuckers got to be ready. If you ain't ready, the show roll on.
No, I think it's going to be a while before he gets another shot. But here's another question. They're talking. Dana White said it pretty much immediately. Colby Covington's next up for Kamaru Usman.
Come on. Of course, right? That's who don't agree? I can't stand Colby Covington. But, of course, we got to give that punk-ass motherfucker the next title shot, right? Like, if for anything, not to see just to him get his ass whooped. At this point, goddamn, look, it's perfect, right? Kamaru Usman is literally like Mr. Wakanda.
Yeah.
And fucking goddamn Covington is fucking goddamn it Trump's right-hand man.
Yeah.
They don't like each other. They got very similar fighting styles. Yeah, I mean, who in the fuck else? This is a. And what's crazy is it should be a pretty boring, tedious fight. I've never been more excited for what more than likely will be a quote-unquote boring fight. Now, calm down, everybody. I'm not saying it's boring to us fucking fighting nerds, but like to the outside public, there will probably be a lot of wrestling and grappling in that fight, or some shitty boxing. But I couldn't be more excited for what will probably be a lackluster fight.
Yeah. All right, quickly, because I actually have to roll really soon. Colby Covington gets the next shot. Fucking by the way, they fucking look. Kobe's about to get his ass whooped in a fucking buffet line at the Palms or some bullshit. Like, whatever. This is yeah, exactly. Ali's full of shit though. Ali's thinking he's a fighter and shit. I'm like, yo, you want to get smacked around at the buffet line? But Kobe's not stupid. He gets paid to fight. All right, real quick, main event time. John Jones against Anthony Smith. 5 rounds, illegal knee and everything. Very quickly, Jesse, the illegal knee. I've heard a certain fake journalist talking about he should have taken the fucking DQ and won that. Got a whole lot of shit on Twitter apparently and everywhere else. And he's like, he's like, in hindsight, you know what? Thinking about it, he did the more honorable thing. Well, no fucking shit. Like, but the point is there, right? Take DQ, take your $1 million paycheck home. You're the champ. You get a rematch against John Jones, probably gonna kick your ass anyway. You get another $1 million payday and you're set for a while, right? For life, probably at that point. It's a lot of money. But Jesse, what do you think about that whole thing whereby he should have taken the DQ or whatever?
All right. I don't know what kind of beta male tells another man to take that easy win, but I have kids. I don't think if that were me, I don't think I could look them in the face after that and tell them that I won a fight or that I'm anything close to being a man. So if somebody's giving that advice, that person should probably not procreate, and nobody should listen to that person's advice ever.
Yeah, no. But what do you think of the whole thing?
I mean, look, man, I see the Nose's point. Like, you could get a mill, you could get the rematch, but you would be such a laughing stock of the sport. Would it really be worth it at that point? And then John just throws you another beating for your efforts and probably takes you seriously and actually does beat the dog shit out of you the second time. So, yeah, probably the smart thing to just take the honorable ass whooping this time.
At that point, yeah. I mean, look, fuck. None of us thought that Anthony Smith was going to win this fight. We thought he'd be walking forward and make it more interesting, but he didn't. But it's because Johnny shut him down, though. Johnny shut him down.
Yeah. Now, let's be honest. Anthony Smith had his first round, and he did, much better, I think, than most people thought he was going to do.
Yeah, yes, he did.
And I think the problem there was after that, like like you said, he got shut down, and then his coaches were just telling him, like, go out on your shield, like just throw.
Yeah. So obviously in the arena, you don't have the audio in your ear at all. By the way, there was a guy a few seats down that bought the pay-per-view on his phone so he could hear the commentary during the fight.
Jesus Christ.
He was still behind like a minute, like maybe like a couple minutes actually. But like he started going like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'm like, I look over and his buddies are looking at him like, dude, like what are they saying? And he's repeating what the corners are saying. So I have somewhat heard that bullshit, telling him to go out on your shield and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck are they telling this dude to do? Like,
but that's the only thing you can tell your guy in there with John Jones after, you see him just basically shell up.
You're fighting the goat.
Yeah, he shells up and he's not doing anything. You got to just tell him, dude, just go out on your shield, man. Just don't go out there and look foolish or do something that you're going to regret later. Because I think Anthony Smith is going to look at that fight and go, damn, if I just would have thrown a couple more punches, if I just would have done this, if I just would have done that, like there's going to be regrets. At least if you get KO'd, at least you could be like, well, I went down swinging. I tried to swing for the fences and he KO'd me. Hey, them's the breaks, right?
Yeah. Well,
Listen, the way this fight panned out is why we shouldn't have had it.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there wasn't a lot of other guys to throw in there. On a quick turnaround for John anyway. All right, very quickly. If we have nothing else in this main event, we're good?
Yeah.
All right. I guess give it like a fucking, I don't know, 10 is the best, 1 is the worst. Your rating on this pay-per-view? What up?
Hold on. The biggest question for me for this whole thing is what do we do with John Jones next? Where do y'all want to see him fight Thiago Santos at 205 or go to heavyweight? And don't be fucking with me because I know you got to go, Eddie. So don't get me fired up. Don't give me no fucking stupid shit here, boys.
Go
ahead, Jesse.
I want John Jones to do what John Jones wants to do, and I say he stays at 205, defends the title, and not worries about heavyweight. So Maheta Santos for a championship fight in the next couple months.
Okay, I prefer the move to heavyweight because I think Thiago Santos is less of a chance than Anthony Smith. Just my opinion, but we can talk about this some other time.
Yeah, we'll talk about it another time. Thank God, Eddie. I agree with you. There's nothing for John at 205. Oh. He's just going to make himself look human in some way. He needs to go to heavyweight. I do think that a fight with, fucking. Anybody at heavyweight for John Jones will be exciting. And then, let Johnny Walker and Thiago Santos and all those cats kind of figure out the pecking order at 205. Yeah. And then let John Jones come back and defend against a really credible title challenger. Thiago Santos is cute right now, but we're talking about John fucking Jones here. I mean, he should not have been fighting Anthony Smith. Who said it just then? Rumble Johnson. The only person he'd come back for is a fight against John Jones at heavyweight. Sign me the fuck up. Let them both take steroids and let's get the fuck to it, baby.
Yeah, dude, look, I want to see John Jones go to heavyweight and put him up against Stipe.
You guys are crazy. I'm sick and tired, real quick. I'm sick and tired of people trying to go for super fights and all this stuff.
Oh,
let him defend his title and let him dominate that whole division.
Just because we got to go. Just because we got to go. All right.
Ask Mighty Mouse how that went.
Exactly. That's one. But two, who else is? I mean, let's say he fights Thiago Santos. He's gonna fuck Thiago Santos up. Anthony Smith had a better chance against John Jones than Thiago Santos. But again, for another fucking show. But he fucks him up, and then we're gonna be sitting here going like, "Well, what the fuck should John Jones do?" The only answer is going to be go up to heavyweight, because unless some blown up 185er comes up, starts knocking motherfuckers out, that makes it look at least somewhat interesting. We're going to have a third Anthony Smith fight.
This weekend, we're going to end on this note. Eddie's got to go work because he's Mexican. This weekend, we have JDS, the Black Beast. For all of me, give John Jones the winner.
Oh, dude, John Jones, Derek Lewis would be the shit.
Give him the winner of this fight this weekend. Let's fucking go. Let's do it.
I'm down with that.
I'm yawning and crying at the same time. For
Get the fuck out of here. You little Mexican dicks hard. Don't bullshit me. If the fucking Black Beast in there, or John Jones good after it late this summer, we're all going to be tuned in.
Or if you want to do like a freak show fight, do John Jones against Anthony Rumble Johnson at heavyweight. Because I still think John Jones fucks him up. So, I mean, that fucks him up, but it's a good fight. After Rumble gasses out, then John Jones chokes him out. All right. That's going to be it for us, ladies and gentlemen. You can follow Kirby at Kirby_MMA. Jesse's at Swat1983. I'm at Ela31. The show's at Keyboard MMA. Shout out to Represent, RepTheWarriors.com. Get yourself some gear. And SpicesPros.com. All right, boys. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate you guys. Raider, Frederick, MMA Gods, Museman. What's up, dude? Thanks for coming by. Uncle Hank was here. Aaron was here for a while. I said Jeremiah. Jeremiah was here from the Hardcore MMA show. All these guys. Everybody was hanging out. Appreciate you guys. All right.
And don't forget, Combates on Friday. Combates on Friday, live from Mexico.
Fucking dudes and ladies punching each other in the face in their own divisions, by the way, not dudes punching chicks in the face. It's fucked up. But yeah, watch some real fucking like crazy fucking fights. Combates always brings on like the fucking, just bleed fights. Those are for you. You should definitely check those out. All right. Y'all are the shit. We love you guys. Good night and good night, Wilshire.